Okay, so here is a quick tour of my garden so far. This is my tiered garden that I played with over the summer. I'm going to pull out those pepper plants and it's going to just become an herb garden because I think that's what these are best used for. Coming in here, the things in white are my tomatoes. I'm trying to keep them from being eaten. Here is my row of two different types of sweet potatoes. I have an orange sweet potato and I have a white sweet potato. I don't know the exact name. Over here is my attempt at trying to get butternut squash to grow. They did not grow over the summer, so maybe they'll grow in the fall. Over here, as we back up, this is my trellis of what are these things? My trellis of eggplants, and I've got lots of eggplants egging. Very excited about that. I planted these in May, which was wrong because they didn't like the heat. The only thing that did well and continues to do well are my Ichiban eggplants. They're doing very well. They accepted the heat and they're doing well now that it's cooled off a wee bit. And the Italian eggplants are finally getting into the hang of it too. This is a 6-foot trellis, 6 foot tall by 6 foot wide or long by 2.5 feet wide. I have also growing up over the top to help give it shade, these climby flower things. And over here is my other trellis that I chose to put dirt in. And these contain my rooted vegetables. All the fencing is to keep the dogs out. Let me open up the fence and I'll show you around here. So over here I have my different types of carrots. They seem to be growing nicely. And over here, my first row right here, I'm very excited about. My wasabi is growing. Then I went to radishes. Right here's my weird row of radishes. And then we've got turnips and we've got beets. And then I just started over again with more beets and radishes. Just this whole area right here is all my beets and my radishes, and they're going really well. Never grew okra before. That's what this is. Macy, no. These are my two okras. We're trying to see if they'll grow. They're doing well. This black covering is where I put my worms. I have some worms in here. I have some worms in the house, in my worm garden in the house. But I said, why not put some out actually in a real garden? So that black covers up the worms and keeps them nice and cool. This here is my black-eyed beans, and I found out that they also crawl up and grow a lot. So I gave them a little trellis over the top too, so they're going to go the whole way over the top. Again, I have on this one too, I also have my growing vines that I thought would be good for shade, and they'll grow up and over. Hopefully that'll continue to grow well. Let's see, what do we have over here? Over here, all these things that look like trash cans are not trash cans. They're actually 50-gallon water containers. And the green one on the end is 100 gallons. So those are water containers. And also, the cans over here are more water containers. I also have a 100 gallon one out in front of the house. So all total I have about 550 gallons of rainwater that I'm collecting, and hopefully that will help me through dry spells. And of course we have this is my one of my compost containers. So that is my house farm, my attempt at growing things. We'll see. It's my first year trying to get things to actually grow in Florida. One of the cool things about these this water container, you think the water would get hot, but it actually stays very cool. I was quite surprised. Also, when I did my my eggplants, I wanted to put them in containers because I didn't know where I was going to end up putting them. And then what I discovered was, if I get like plates at the bottom, they're kind of self-watering. I really haven't watered from the top at all this year. I just keep my little trays. They're about 1.5 inches deep. Picked them up at Home Depot. Put all my eggplants in there, and away you go. So that is my side, my backyard garden with my potatoes and, oh, an eggplant. Yay, I'm glad I like eggplant. I'm gonna get a lot of them. And my little squashies, and my covered up, these are Cherokee tomatoes, which are supposed to be able to handle the heat and do well in Florida. My other attempt at tomatoes ended poorly with no tomatoes actually growing. They all got eaten or got blighted out by mold. Oh, one last thing I'm doing is, these are clippings. This first one here is a clipping of my Barbados, one of the clippings from a Barbados cherry tree. The rest of these are fire bushes that I'm going to replant out front. And of course you can see I'm growing my my garden is on concrete, and I have my little raised garden here. They don't seem to mind so far. So there you go. The wonderful world of gardening at the Henderson house. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you found it helpful. One more thing. I keep going to one more thing. This wood across the top, I'm going to put a trellis type of thing across here to provide shade down when the sun gets on the other side. When it comes across to the west side, it really beats things up. So I'm going to put a little trellis kind of, or little ceiling kind of thing there to give my plants some more shade. And we'll see what happens with that. Hope this was helpful. And if not, I can send individual pictures. But there you go.